All right, what's good with the Black Goose TV family? Double salute. Like I said, I'm back right away. We changing things up in the channel, man. No cap. Like we got to change some things up. Fool. Can't be on the same type of time always. Like, what's the point of that? Why you always on the same type of time? Like, come on, we got to switch it up. You feel me? It don't matter if you in the workplace. It don't matter if you playing sports. It don't matter if you talking to a woman, whatever the case may be. Don't make it the same thing every time. Nah, look, I'm gonna be 100 with y'all, man. I'm gonna be 110 with y'all. Actually, to be, real, straightforward, transparent. Look, I love boxing. I love sport. I love all that good stuff. But it's like, man, you know what I'm saying? Boxing is one of the most disrespectful sports when it comes to their fans and their viewers. They just don't. Like it's like they know how to keep people involved when there's nothing to be involved about. And it's like for the longest, I've been telling y'all, I hate talking about the same thing. I hate talking about what ifs. I hate talking about possibilities, especially when it comes around the same fights. Like Terrence Crawford, Earl Spence just happened. We have been talking about that. If you a boxing fan, if you a boxing enthusiast, we've been talking about that fight for 4 years now, and we finally got it now. That's how long people in the boxing community have been debating that sport and talking about it. So, you know what I'm saying? Me coming back to the YouTube side of the game, I want to switch it up. I feel like I've always had a little bit of the switch up, but I really just, you know what I'm saying? I made a point to make it about boxing, but I'm getting away from that, man. I'm not even gonna cap. I'm getting all the way away from that. And tonight, I really don't plan to be on here that long, man. For real, like I want this to be maybe like a 30-minute stream where I'm just, I'm spitting facts, either I'm spitting, complete nonsense, whatever the case may be, however y'all want to take it in. You know what I'm saying? Y'all take it in. You know what I'm saying? You decipher it how you want it to be, but I want this to be short, sweet, to the point. And y'all see the title down below. Y'all see what I'm talking about. By the way, if you come up here, hit the like button, subscribe to the channel, like this stuff. We're just gonna be talking about what our young men right now is facing when it comes to women, what y'all dealing with, what I'm dealing with, how life is. And I just want to spit some game to the people, you know what I'm saying? Hopefully this game that I'm gonna be spitting to the people can go it can hit ears where you guys will be able to understand what I'm saying and you'll be able to utilize it where it's beneficial for you, it's helpful for you because nowadays, man, it's different. You know what I'm saying? It's not the same, right? And some people would actually argue like it's been difficult, it's been different for a long period of time. Uh, but now a lot of people are just now acknowledging the difference and you're just now being able to really get the knowledge needed to be able to maneuver and work the way that you want to work. So hopefully you're not putting yourself in a compromised position, right? Because me personally, man, I got an old school mindset. You know what I'm saying? I always like to say I'm old to some, I'm young to others. You feel me? But even with that being the case, you know what I'm saying? It's like things have changed so drastically in the last 5 to 6 years, 7, 10 years, whatever the case you may want to call it. I'll say 10 years. Let's say decade. Things have changed so drastically in the last decade for young men, even for some older men. For older men too. I'm not gonna say nobody. So for young men and older men, where it's like if you're not approaching situations or if you don't have a certain mindset going into these situations, you're gonna end up being on the bad side. And what I mean by the bad side, not only are you going to be looked at as the enemy, but you're also going to be in a position where you're going to lose everything or you're going to lose a lot. And, you know, one of the biggest things that have been going on in the YouTube community when it comes to the movement, right, is the red pill, right? Where basically like saying like don't get married, you know what I'm saying? Like don't allow women to do this. That's not what I'm on. Like that's not what I'm preaching to the people. That's not what I'm gonna be talking about tonight. And I'm gonna have more live streams where I'm gonna be talking about this because I do want to talk because I know with the community, the Black Goose family that I've built off of the boxing, I know there's a lot of y'all young folks, young cats that be watching. So I just want to talk to y'all. So I'm like, that's not what I'm talking about. Like I'm not saying to totally refrain from entertaining a woman, totally refrain from catering to a woman, totally refrain from, you know what I'm saying, giving a woman a good time. The thing about doing that now is it's you have to be a lot more selective. And I know some would probably argue that before, it's like you had to be selective then. It's just it wasn't as apparent as it is now because you don't have as many things or you don't have as many what's the word for it? I guess you don't have as many uh services, opportunities, whatever the case may be, or tales that allow you to be like, okay, this is a red flag. Like if you really think about it, it's like nowadays it's a lot easier to spot a red flag than it is back in the day because it was a lot. So what I see in a lot of red pill communities, like, oh yeah, women now they got it so much easier because of social media, da 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 da. They have so much access to men, so it's a lot easier for a woman to play. You know what I'm saying? Somebody who's green, right? What I mean by green is somebody who, I'm saying, nonchalant, don't know no better, think that the woman really for them, and they don't know the game, right? Um, but I would argue against that to say, well, back in the day, you're not in a good position back in the day neither, because it's like out of sight, out of mind type of time, right? So if a woman is doing something crazy, it's like it's really hard to find out because it's not in front of your face. You don't know, you think you got a good woman, she look good, but you don't know what type of entertainment that she's entertaining because you think she's just for you. Because there's nothing that's prevalent to be able to say, okay, this is what's the situation that's going on, and I got to deal with it accordingly. Like you can get a bad thing, like back in the day, you can get a bad thing that nobody knows about, and you think it's all yours, and all of a sudden you find out like she wilding on the weekends type. You know what I'm saying? But it's really hard to find that out because I'm like, there was no social media, there was nothing to be posted, nothing like that. You have to find out from word of mouth, right? So that shit hit your heart even more. I'm like, at least nowadays, this is why I be telling. So I'm like, that's why I feel like there's a false narrative when it comes to red pill now, where it's like, oh, like women have it easier. Women do have it easier in that sense, but I also think us as men have it easier where we can peep the red flags early. If she on the socials, she going crazy. You know what I'm saying? She don't even have to have a lot of followers. She's going crazy. You know what I'm saying? You met her. You know what I'm saying? If you're not willing to, you know what I'm saying, trying to make her your girl quick, nothing like that. She letting you know, like, this is the thing. A lot of y'all niggas, y'all scared to ask that question. And this is one I want to say to my young dogs, right? And I don't know what you're going for because it all depends on what rating you in, right? If you're a young nigga, and this is one of the things I like to say, man. If you're a young nigga, you should be getting at chicks that's within your rating or within your scope, maybe a little lower. A lot of times, y'all young niggas, y'all want to go within a scope that's higher than what you should be going for. You know what I'm saying? Be realistic with yourself first before you go after the chick. You could be a 6 or a 7, and I'm not talking about looks or nothing like that. And I don't know pause shit. I'm talking about your entire. Because I'm like, when it comes to men, that don't got nothing to do with looks. It has to come with your situation. So if you got a cool little job, right? You're paying your bills, right? But you ain't doing nothing extra, right? Y'all be the same ones trying to go for like 7, 8s, and 9s. In today's day and age, 7, 8s, or 9s, they got niggas with mad money going into their DMs for a one night stand. I'm not saying they got them for a long term, but that boosts their ego. So you got to know what you're going for. You got to know the risks. Like one thing I say one thing I would tell young niggas, one thing I would tell even older niggas who don't even understand what's going on when it comes to when you're dealing with these women is like, have y'all ever invested in anything, right? And if you haven't, let me give you a little bit of game, right? When you invest in something, whatever you invest in, there's a risk to it, right? And so there's certain motherfuckers who will only invest in something where the risk is low. If you want to look at it as women, that's the dudes who are making, you know what I'm saying, they're not worried about their bills being paid and like that. They're making a cool little amount of money. Let's not talk about the tax bracket. Let's not talk about how much money they're making. But let's just say they're not living paycheck to paycheck. They know shit is paid for and they good, right? The niggas who are low risk or not willing to go over the top when it comes to their investment. They're like, yo, I'm not going to invest in something that has a high risk. They going after the 5s and 6, right? And they cool with that because they know what their return is. all right, it's really rare that she finna be on some crate. Like even the 5 and 6 though nowadays, yeah, they might be on some type of time, but they understand the risk to the reward is lower, right? And then you got the niggas who's like, yo, I'm really that nigga. Like there'll be niggas like I'm really that nigga. I'm gonna go after 7 and 8s, right? Those are dudes who are invested in something where they're willing to have a higher risk and a lower reward, right? And then you have the dudes who is like, yo, I'm really gonna go at the top of the top where their risk is through the roof. But if they get a reward, the reward is gonna, you know what I'm saying, basically, you know, cancel out the risk. Like, yo, I'm gonna put 100,000 down on this, or let's be realistic. I'm gonna put 20,000 down on this. I have a potential to make 70,000 back, so I'll have a 40,000 profit. But the actuality of that happening is like 5%. I want to take that risk. So it's like I'd be like, man, think of it when you speaking to these women, when you're talking to these women, when you're dealing with these women in the same way that you're investing, because you are investing. You're investing your time. What do they always say? Time is money. So if you're investing your time in these women, you're investing your money into them because it always goes hand in hand. So to the young niggas, older niggas, whoever I'm speaking to, what I want to say to y'all is if you're dealing with a woman, right, and you are like in your head, all right, I see X, Y, and Z. And this is the thing too, because there's different niggas too, because when you invest in something, people have different outcomes. There's people who want to short sell, right? There's people who want to, okay, I'll be in here for this amount of time, but then I'm going to be out. There's people who want to hold, right? Hold 2 years later, then sell, right? And there's people who want to hold on to the stock forever. And then when the shit's booming 10 years from now, then I want to sell. And so what I mean by that in the translation of when you're dealing with a woman is there's people who's like, oh yeah, I just want to smash. Oh yeah, I just want to talk to her. I want to keep her on my roster, right? But I don't ever want to make her mine. Oh, I want to make her my girlfriend. Oh, I want to make her my wife. So understand what are you finna do with your investment. So it's the same exact situation when you're dealing with these women. Dealing with women is an investment of your time. Your time is money. So you need to understand when you're talking to each of these women, it's the same thing, right? And let me even go a little bit further. Some people will say, well, there's a big difference. There's no emotional attachment with these investments that you're dealing with, but there's an emotional attachment when you're dealing with a woman. Okay. Go ahead and invest in something and lose all your money. Let me see how emotional you finna be feeling. You think there's no emotional attachment, right? That's the same as you niggas are dealing with a woman who would be like, oh yeah, why not? She's not gonna be my girl. I'm just dealing with her. And this is me speaking from experience. I'm just gonna deal with her for this amount of time. And all of a sudden, she tell you, oh yeah, I was with this other nigga the other night. Y'all not even together. You're like, wait, what? You know, we supposed to be on this, but it's like, oh, we're not even together. Emotional. If you invest in something, the emotional is always going to end up happening if it is longer than the short sell. If you're not short selling, then you're always going to end up with an emotional attachment. It just depends on how long you're going to be involved with it, how strong the emotional attachment is. Short selling, dealing with a woman, right, is one night stands. I just met her. I text her. We text a couple times, you know what I'm saying, through the week. I know she fucked with me, and then randomly, I know I can hit her and be like, yo, you want to be on sometime? I'll come through right now. Like that. That's like nowadays they call it sneaky leaks. That's a short sale. Very risky, but if it comes through, it's a high reward, right? Everything other than that, there's going to be some emotional connection that you're going to have to deal with. So you have to be smart, but it's hard because now I'm telling you to use your head while most likely when you're approaching the chick, you're using the other one. We 14 minutes in. Let me cut. We're not going long. We're going 45 tonight. This is going to be the new thing now. I'm going to start, man. This is a new segment, man. Tell you, this shit necessary. Obviously, there's a lot of channels out here telling y'all game, and they is. But can I tell y'all one thing about a lot of those channels telling y'all games? A lot of those channels is telling y'all game from the aspect of them being rich. I'm not rich. I'm a hard-working blue-collar nigga. There's also other channels who's not. You know what I'm saying? Maybe I haven't come across them, but I'm a hard-working blue-collar nigga, right? And I'm telling you, just life, how you need to approach and how you need to deal with things, because there's no secret. You know what I'm saying? There's no magical one-touch button. You have to understand what you're getting yourself into, because nowadays, man, it is a whole nother level when it comes to this shit that's going on. Man. And you guys need to be prepared for this. I don't know if you're listening. I don't know if you're not listening. Either way, I'm gonna put this shit out here because I hope it helps someone. Because I wish I had this. I wish I had this raw right here. Pause. Women are beautiful, absolutely beautiful, right? But when you're a young man, right? Even when you're an older man, you're so focused on whatever responsibilities you have. I got to work. I got to take care of this. I got to take care of that. I got to put myself in a position where people look at me in a certain way. And so when you're dealing with all these different aspects, when you're dealing with all these different things that you have to try and maintain, you have to try and control, you have to try and make sure it's on a certain a level. What ends up happening a lot for us is, what do we end up doing, right? Let's be honest. We settle because we're working so hard outside of the dating market. When we go into the dating market, we don't want to work hard. Mm. And what a lot of these red pill YouTube channels is going to tell you is, don't work hard. Deal with the chick who's easiest. Deal with the one who gets you. I'm not saying any of those things are wrong. But what happens a lot of times is, because you decide to settle outside of the work that you're already putting in, the long term detriment of that now ends up putting you into a position where you're sitting at the courthouse, you're sitting in front of a divorce attorney, you're sitting in front of a lawyer, and you're trying to figure out, why the fuck am I in this position? Is why? Because, like I said, as a man, whether young, whether old, we're so focused on, and as you should, figuring shit out, trying to make sure I'm in a position where I'm getting things taken care of, and anyone who's with me is also taken care of. So what does that do? You put all your energy, you put all your effort into the everyday cycle of making sure shit is good, making sure shit is straight, making sure shit is fine, making sure you don't have to have any worries, that when now you go into the dating market, now when you go outside of that particular conundrum or a particular bubble, when you're outside of that and now you're dealing with these different types of women, these different types of people, right? What do? You go for the easiest thing. You settle for the easiest thing. And you don't understand that those women that you're settling for, who are the easiest, that you decide to make your woman, that you decide to follow up on a daily basis, you decide to be like, I'm going to be in a relationship, and they understand what is going on. Because those same women read you before you read them. Why? Why? Ask me, like, why is that the situation? Because look, I'm trying to tell y'all, you have to have more confidence. It's always the confidence, because you have all the confidence in the world to go to work and do the best you can. I need a raise. I need to look the best in work. I need to do this. I need to make this type of money. But when you're outside of that, now all of a sudden you're willing to accept whatever comes forward. And that's my one problem when it comes to the red pill movement, is because they push this narrative saying, who's ever the easiest, whoever gives it to you, this, and that, that's who you should wear. I'm not saying you need to work. I'm not, you need to be smart, right? I don't disagree completely when it comes to the red pill, but a lot of those red pill dudes, the position they're coming from is from them having a lot of money. So they don't have to work hard, or they don't have to have uh, a way with words. They don't have to know how to approach women. They don't have to say certain things. They don't know you have to dress a certain way for women to allow you to approach them, right? They already have money. They're in the big section. Oh, that's so and so. So they're like, oh yeah, don't 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 waste your time talking to this chick. Don't waste your time talking to this chick if she's making it hard for you. That's how a lot of y'all niggas has ended up in the position you are, because you are allowing the easiest woman to be in your life. And when the easiest woman is in your life, guess what? Your life is going to become the exact opposite. It's going to become the hardest because that easiest woman understands that this nigga has limited options. He chose me because he don't know how to deal with anything else. So I know exactly how to take advantage of this nigga, right? And what's unfortunate is a lot of y'all niggas, when y'all end up in that situation, is you fall head over heels over that woman, and now you are fighting for your life, you're fighting for your house, you're fighting for your car over a woman who is absolutely underwhelming to the majority of masses. They'll be like, "That's the bitch that you having trouble with? That's the bitch you had a kid with?" Damn. And I'm not saying that's always the situation. I'm just trying to wake my people up because there's an agenda going on. There's something going on where they want you to believe, they want you to think, oh, all I got to do is DM 20 women, we good. All I got to do is talk to 100. I'm not saying that's wrong at a certain age when you have a certain confidence, when you have a certain look. I'm not saying that's wrong. I'm trying to talk to the masses. I'm trying to talk to the baseline of the people, the ones who was talking to a chick who, you know what I'm saying, if you was with your dog and you was like, yo, so I'm talking to, they'd be like, damn, okay. And you willing to get like emotions and feelings trumps everything. Most relationships, when they're long term or when you're just, when something happens physically that can possibly, or majority of the time, lead into something that can be long term, that the initial is a physical attraction, but a lot of times what carries it on is the emotional attraction, right? That's what a lot of people don't talk about. And so that's why it's very important. You need to be aware in the beginning. You have to be careful in the beginning. And this isn't me just talking, saying this shit out my ass, right? I'm saying I gotta go nice, but like I'm trying to save y'all niggas from situations that could end up really hurting you. Because nowadays a lot of niggas are in positions or they're dealing with something where they feel like they don't have easy access like they used to, or it's harder to deal with women, or maybe they talking to a chick and but I know she talking to another nigga. I gotta compete with him, so I gotta go X, Y, and Z. It's like, no, enjoy your life, bro. There's someone out there that is going to rock with how you move. And if not, be able to accept that. That's the hardest part to our young niggas. You can't accept the fact that, well, this chick is putting pressure on me and I really fuck with her. So I gotta succumb to that pressure. Rather than being like, no, I'm not going to. I'm like, think about all these popular athletes if they could succumb to the pressure. You feel me? LeBron would have never got a ring. Paul Pierce would have never knocked out Cleveland Cavaliers. You know what I'm saying? Tom Brady wouldn't be as crazy as you can't succumb to the pressure. You have to be willing to be like, all right, and see what comes from it. And it may not be the result, may not be what you want. That's what like, I'm scared of. Like, well, I want my result to be, I want to be with her, rather than accepting the fact whatever the result is. That that's really what should be planned for you. Like, you shouldn't be with her. Niggas be so worried about, well, I don't want to do that because I can end up losing her, rather than being like, well, if I don't do that, I will lose her. What is the difference? One, you scared of the outcome. The other, you understand that that outcome is what's best for you. If she is meant to be, she will be meant to be. So in no type of way should you have to change whatever you got set up, whatever you got going, so shit can work. It should be a smooth selling type of situation. You ever put ginger ale in the refrigerator and then when you take the ginger ale out, you pop that thing open, you pour it, it should be as smooth as that. If that's not the case, if shit is, you know what I'm saying, you open it up, it's bubbling over, you gotta clean up the space, you know what I'm saying? Damn, so much bubbled over, I gotta get a whole new ginger ale type of time. If that's what you're dealing with, I'm telling you right now, fam, your life ain't what it's supposed to be. So I don't know if I said a whole bunch of nonsense to the people. I don't want to be like I'm like this is gonna be a new segment. Like this is gonna be shit I'm gonna be talking about. Like I said, I'm like when it comes to this channel, it's not just gonna be boxing. We're gonna have so much other shit we're gonna be talking about than boxing. But I'm like, this is something I really want to stress, especially when it comes to my people, to my young people, but even to my older people, because you know what I'm saying, I've just seen on a consistent basis the misconception of how we should be dealing with certain situations. The world has changed, right? Whether it's for the better, whether it's for the worse, that's not for me to judge. But what I'm trying to say and what I'm trying to talk to the people about is the world has changed. And so I'm trying to give y'all education on how us black men can maneuver when we're dealing with women if you guys are not married already or already have a baby with a woman. If you're out here and you're trying to, if you're working, taking care of things, got a good job, got a cool job, just making sure that you on your P's and Q's. But it's like, okay, the one thing I'm missing is a good woman. I'm looking for a good woman. I'm trying to give y'all the game to make sure you don't put yourself in a position where everything that you worked for you to be in the position where you can actually have the time to look for a good woman, you don't throw that away. Because that's the thing. That's what people don't want to talk about. There's a lot of niggas. There's a lot of let me see. There's a lot of black men, young black men, older black men who will work their ass off to be in a position where they don't have to worry about nothing. And that's all relative, right? I'm not saying anyone's rich. I'm not saying anyone's poor. All that is relative, right? But if they're not worried about their bills being paid, they're in a position they don't got to worry about their bills being paid. If that's the case, all they worried about now is, well, I want a good woman next to me, or I want a woman next to me. Like, I don't want to do this. I don't want to enjoy all this by myself. So all I'm trying to be as a person here in this situation is be like, if that's what you are, if that's the situation that you're in, where it's like, yo, all my shit is taken care of, I'm just looking for a woman to share it with. I'm trying to give y'all the game so y'all don't put yourself in a position where someone comes in your life and can take that away, right? Someone can come into your life and they can ruin all that. And the terrible part about this whole entire thing that I'm saying is if you allow someone in your life to be able to do that, their life ain't ruined when shit goes to, shit hits the fan. It's yours. So I'm trying to be the person to be like, this is what you need to look out for, and this is what you need to be aware of before you allow someone in your life when your life is calm, cool, collective, and taken care of. No one else is speaking to the regular folks like myself about these things. There's regular niggas like myself who our whole focus was on getting to a point where we're not worried about certain problems, we're not worried about certain things that will make us feel a certain type of way, right? Or even there's people like myself who maybe that's not what their whole entire goal was, but that's where they end up being, right? People like myself, they never want to be a family man, they never wanted to be married or anything like that, but they wanted to make sure everything was straight and it was comfortable and get to a certain point. So I'm like, I'm talking to those where now it's like you at a point where it's like, okay, I'm handling business, shit is good. I ain't worried about nothing to a certain extent. Obviously, my goals is not nowhere near done. I want to keep progressing, but at the same time, if I can allow a woman to be in my life, I would have no problem with that. The thing about nowadays is you have to be very careful because if you allow the wrong woman into your life, everything that you worked for is now going to be taken away from you. And I'm not saying that's the woman's fault. I'm not saying that's the woman's fault. I'm saying that's your fault because you didn't know the woman that you're dealing with. And what I'm trying to tell the people is don't ignore red flags. And this is something I wish when I was a younger nigga that I really just like really listen to, like, because red flags are real. Women will tell you who they are before you deal with them. They will give you all the reasons why not to deal with them before you deal with them. But us as men, we're gonna say, I hear all that, I see all that, but I'm going to deal with you because I'm physically attracted to you, right? It's very funny. Like, we're not emotionally motivated. Women are emotionally motivated. But the thing about it is, when we are in a situation where we feel like we want what we want, we do become very emotionally motivated because what ends up happening is we can be across from a woman, we can deal with a woman who has all these signs that we should not have anything to do with them, but we're going to say, God damn, she fine. God damn, she got ass. God damn, she got a pretty face. God damn, she got body. Yeah, I'm just going to take the chance. And I'm trying to plead, I'm trying to beg to us as a general to stop doing it. We got to stop doing it. I'm talking to us regular niggas. I don't know nothing about the millionaire. Like the millionaire niggas, they can take that chance. They can lose out on that money. But us, where you put a baby in a chick just because she look good, and next thing you know, she don't fuck with you like that, and she want to take everything you got. And once you take everything you got, you got to start from the fucking beginning. Like millionaire niggas, football, basketball players, like stop skewing the line. Like they can do that because they can be in a bad position. They can take a whole bunch of money. And they still got a whole lot of other money. Like us, regular niggas. If a chick decide, if you put a baby in a chick and she done with you, she can take all your shit. And however long it took you to get to the point you was at, it's gonna take you twice as long to get back to it. You heard me? And even when you get back to it, she still gonna have a say and whatever the fuck you make it when you get back to it. Cause she could be like, okay, this nigga back at it, and give me the child support. That nigga ain't 18 yet. My daughter ain't 18. Like, come on. So I'm gonna try. So it's like some people is blessed. Some men, some y'all blessed. You know what I'm saying? You deal with a woman when you was young, you was in high school, sweethearts, all that stuff. You still with her, you know she fucking with you. Some others, you know. Oh yeah, I'm not saying marriage is bad. Like I don't want to come off that way. I don't want to try and uh disrespect relationships, right? Because black love is a beautiful thing. Marriage is a beautiful thing. I don't have no problem with any of that. I'm just saying the game is different now. And I don't think as young black men, older black men, you should be, if you're not married, you shouldn't be trying to strive toward marriage. You should be striving toward continuing to build up who you are, continuing to build up the money you're trying to make, continuing to build up whatever All right, I'm back, y'all. I was talking too much of that good shit, man. They had to get me up out of here, man. That's crazy to me, bro. Like I've done so many boxing, like I've done 3 hour boxing streams, all that type of stuff. I ain't never had no problems, nothing like that. Like they really had to get me up out of here, man. But anyways, so I'm like, if you're a man, and I'm not gonna go that much longer. I'm not even finna cap you. It's 11:17. I'm gonna go to about 11:30. But it's gonna be a new streams. We're changing up. It's not just gonna be boxing and nothing like that. Like I'm really gonna be talking to y'all. But anyways, um, so I'm like, the game has changed. Like when you're a man, right, and you've built yourself to a certain position, and you didn't have a day one with you. You meet new women. Like you have to understand that you're now putting yourself in a position where now you're very vulnerable. You are a very vulnerable person. Why are you vulnerable? Because it goes back to what I was saying when it comes to men, right? A lot of y'all want to say, okay, which I agree with, we don't emotionally make decisions. But when do we emotionally make decisions, right? When we dealing with a chick, when we see someone who look good, right? We emotionally be like, oh yeah, she look good. I'm finna really push up on that type of time, right? So now you allow someone into your life that you make an emotional decision on, where majority of the time you've been making rational decisions, right? And what ends up being a problem is that emotional decision you made is a lot harder for you to deal with than a rational decision, because when you make an emotional decision, you have more of a connection than a rational decision. And I know a lot of things I'm saying, like it's not gonna make no difference. It's not. Niggas gonna see the woman that they want, try and get at. They can't get them. They're gonna do whatever they can to get them. And a lot of times that's gonna involve, that's gonna entail you doing something that you don't need to be doing. That's gonna be you spending money you don't need to be spending. From now on, I'm gonna tell y'all this right now. This channel, we're gonna be talking boxing. When basketball come up, we're gonna be talking basketball. When we talk football, I'm gonna talk some football. But from now on, I'm going to have my streams where I'm gonna be talking to my dudes, my dogs, and I'm gonna try and get y'all and hopefully see y'all. Make sure y'all see the light. Because I'm like, so many of us is confused. So many of us don't see what's going on. I'm like, this is just for you. This is for myself too. Like when you dealing with a woman and she gives you those signs, take them. Don't be so hurt. Like we want to be. It's so funny. Like we'll be like, okay, this chick don't mean nothing, but then when she reciprocate the same type of, you know what I'm saying, time that you've been on, you start feeling away because you feel like she don't got the right to do that. It's like, nah, let her do that. But see, the problem is a lot of y'all, including myself, it's like a lot of y'all take it a certain type of way is because you don't got no other options. Have other options, right? Have other options. What I say in the beginning of this whole entire podcast or live stream, whatever you want to call it, look at it as an investment. I invested this amount of money into this stock. All right, I've been talking to, or I've been investing in this stock for 2 years, right? All of a sudden, I got a stock that's just as valuable. I've only been investing in the stock for 3 weeks. It's gonna hurt a lot more when the stock that I've invested in 2 years it ends up dropping in price. Do I want to stay in it or do I want to pull out? A lot of times you don't want to pull out, you want to stay in it. But that's why you got the other stock, right? Have options. It allows you to be able to maneuver a lot better. I'm not saying it solves all your problems because it don't. It's not even close. It definitely don't solve all your problems. It, like shit gonna be difficult. Period. It really just comes down to just dealing with your emotions and dealing with whatever situation you got in front of you and how you decide to handle it. But I'm just trying to talk to people and say, man, shit hard, life hard, young man, older man. Don't let shit fool you, man. Do not let shit fool you. Don't be so invested in your emotions when you're either working towards something or when you work towards something and got it, do not let your emotional aspect be able to take all that shit away, because I've seen it, man, in communities, my community, other communities, where it's like you've done so much, you worked so hard, and all that shit got taken away from you because you had an emotional connection with someone and you didn't even know what was really going on because you didn't see it for what it really was. And that's an investment. So I'm gonna leave it at that. We have 40 minutes. I go longer by um, I love y'all. Appreciate y'all. Hit the like button, subscribe to the channel. We had some fun. I don't know when the next live is gonna be, but I'm just gonna tell you right now, man. We really gonna be flipping and dipping and switching up what this channel is, but we're gonna have a lot of fun, a lot of good talks, a lot of good live streams. Much love to people. I'm out of here now. I'll be back later. Double flues.